My name is John Bryant. I'm a professional wildlife and landscape photographer and Panasonic Lumix ambassador. I've travelled extensively in southern Africa, but never to the Kgalagadi, which is known for the black-maned Kalahari lions. In search of these lions, I spent 10 days between Rooipoets and Paloensa in the Kgalagadi Transfrontier National Park, and the cameras that I was taking with me were the Lumix G system G9 and GH5 with a range of Lumix lenses. And straight from the get-go, we were very fortunate with many lion sightings, which afforded some incredible photography. On my arrival, the Kgalagadi was suffering from a prolonged drought. Conditions were extremely dry. There was a lot of dust, a lot of sand, we had high winds, we even had thunderstorms. So it was a real test for the equipment.
On a morning game drive, we spotted 3 males that were coming down to a waterhole to drink. There were 2 adolescents and 1 older male with a black mane. As the lions were walking towards us, I used the 100 to 400mm lens to be able to take some images with the sand dunes as a backdrop. With the lions now side on, everything was set up to take an image with a slower shutter speed and to pan with the subject. The G9 has in-body stabilisation, and combined with the optical stabilisation of the lens, it allows me to take this sort of creative image. I mentioned the dunes as a backdrop, while another image I was seeking from the Kgalagadi was lions on the red sand dunes. The first few sightings were in poor light and weather, but eventually one morning I got the perfect shot of a lone female as the sun rose to my right. And if the lions came really close to our vehicle, having the GH5 with the 50 to 200mm lens allowed me to shoot at a wider focal length. Not only does that mean I don't waste time switching lenses in a dusty environment, but it also allows me to take images that show the animal in their environment.
I've been fortunate to see and photograph all of the cats in Africa: leopard, lion, cheetah, African wildcat and the serval, but one had eluded me, and that was the caracal. On this trip I was extremely lucky. I had 2 sightings of the same caracal, and the second sighting, the caracal, was close to the road, in good light, and was very relaxed with our presence. It's in situations like this that the 100 to 400mm lens really comes into its own, especially when the animal moves into another location. I'm able to get close-up portraits and then track the animal at distance and still get great shots. It is so important to have this level of focal length flexibility. There's no off-roading in the Kgalagadi, so you have to be able to shoot the animals often at distance. And with the 100 to 400mm lens, this allows me to take images and fill the frame. Predators and hunting are a part of the reality of the Kgalagadi, and it isn't just lions that rely on hunting to survive. Smaller predators such as the jackal are active hunters, and we came across one who had a speciality: hunting after sandgrouse. Within a few seconds, the jackal's attempt is over, but with the G9 shooting at 12 frames a second, it allowed me to get a sequence of shots that showed this predatory behaviour in all its glory. I was fortunate to have 2 cheetah sightings whilst on drive. However, both cheetahs were at long distances and I didn't have much time to capture a shot, so I focused on getting still images using a focal length of 400mm. My time in the Kgalagadi was drawing to an end, and I felt extremely privileged to have spent time observing and photographing these incredible cats. Being on safari always presents challenges. With the Lumix G system, I have the perfect camera setup that gives me a combination of dependability and creative flexibility for both stills photography and videography.